Now we are discussing about these Xiongnu people. They were nomadic people from Mongol territory. Mongolia is actually a desert. It is in parts of steppes that is having grassland, but grass is not much tall because rainfall is very less, whereas land is usually either small grassland or only desert. We are calling that as Gobi desert. As we discussed in earlier lecture, in Mongol language Gobi means desert, and we are calling Gobi Gobi or desert like that Gobi desert. Now these Xiongnu were warrior clan. They were Mongoloid but warrior clan. It is often described as nation on horse. They were all nomadic tribes. No cities were there in Mongolia. So they were warrior clan. They were very cruel. They were continuously attacking on China here, from Mongolia to China, and Chinese people were troubled continuously by this Hun attack. One of the record says that what was food of these Xiongnu people, instead of pronouncing this way Xiongnu, in English and in Indian languages also, we are pronouncing or we are using word for these people as Hun, Hun. More often many people are calling Huns, but no Huns, Huns. So their name is Xiongnu. In their language we are calling them as Huns. So these Hun were there in Mongolia. They were attacking on China. They were consuming raw or say semi-cooked food, usually semi-cooked flesh. They were all flesh eating. Why they are calling semi-cooked food? Because traditionally it is said that they were keeping out part of flesh over horse, then sitting over that flesh and driving out horse. Whatever the friction is there on that cooking is there, that is the way they were consuming food. Reality I don't know. These Huns were fond of drinking alcohol, liquor, but they were using a vessel, usually huge vessel they were using to consume this alcoholic drink. That vessel was made from human skull. Just imagine how cruel these people, that they were using human skull for drinking this liquor. And like that 9 lakh Huns were there. Imagine the way they destroyed population on earth, particularly population in China. In those days they were carrying out continuous attack over China, and ultimately Chinese people were fed up of this attack and they decided to construct a wall. And this way the Great Wall of China that was produced, that is the fear of Hun people. If you observe earth from moon, then whatever your buildings, towers, bridges, nothing will be observed from moon. Only one man-made thing that is observed from moon, that is the Great Wall of China, a miraculous one. But that miracle happened because of these Hun people. Now because of this Great Wall of China, Huns were not easily penetrated in the China. At the same time, now there is period around 00 AD. In this particular period, a small ice age was there on earth. I am using word small ice age. Why? Because it lasted only for 400 years. Only for 400 years. Therefore, we are calling that as small ice age. Otherwise, usually ice age continued for million of years. But here it lasted only for 400 years. But what happened because of that? From northern pole side, ice caps expanded slowly and steadily towards south side. The Scandinavian portion of Europe become continuously covered by ice. Same way Mongolia from north side continuously covered by ice. Now these Hun people got trouble. Number one, they were not easily entering in China because of this wall. Secondly, ice age was there, and therefore they shifted out from this Mongolia towards western part. There were another cruel tribe living over there named as Yuchids. So this was another tribe, usually from Afghanistan towards north side. Present day it is Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, all these territories. There these tribes were living named as Yuchids. More often in Indian language we are calling them as Kushan, Turushk, or even we are calling them as second Shak. So originally named Yuchids, but in Indian language we are often describing these people as Kushan, Turushk or second Shak. Towards this part there were another tribe, you are aware, from here Ukraine to this portion there were another tribe, we are calling them as Scythian. These Scythians in Indian language described as Shak or Sak. What happened? Yungnu disturbed out Kushan or Yuchids. Yuchids were great warrior, but in front of Hun their warriorship failed and they were displaced from their territory to the Scythian territory. Now Scythians were displaced out to Iran, and then there was problem. The Iran was ruled by Greeks. The Greeks were dethroned from Iran, and ultimately they were getting cut out their lineage from Greece, and then they entered in India as a refugee. Ultimately they got shelter in India, and then we accepted them. Only thing is that after several years they accepted either Hinduism or Buddhism, and they mixed out in Indian community, Indian culture. After they lost out their identity as Greek, today many North Indians, particularly those who are staying in Punjab region, Uttar Pradesh region, they are having their some of the ancestors as Greeks. The Greeks this way penetrated in India. They get now accepted as refugee, and slowly they mixed out in Indian culture. This is the problem of Alexander the Great's invention. The result was that ultimately they came to India as refugee. They got shelter in India, and we got the richness that we accepted. Okay, you are there, welcome in our society, and we digested these Greeks people in India. Can you identify Greek right now in India? Answer is no. They get completely dissolved in our society. But followed by that, the Scythians were there in this territory. Again, Kushans were displaced by Kushans were displaced by Hun. Again, Kushan displaced out Scythian from Persian territory, and then here there is a pass here that is called as Bolan Pass. From that territory, Scythian entered in India. Now this region is called as Baluchistan. In those days it was called as Makrana. So Makrana was annexed by Scythian. Then onwards they entered in Sindh territory. One clan went towards Yaudheya in Haryana. one clan enters in Gujarat and they made their base camp at Gujarat. This is the second foreign invader entered in India, that was Scythian, or we are calling them as Shak people.